Hey guys, welcome to Surf and Show. I'm Noel Salas, and today's episode is surfboard testing at Kelly Slater Surf Ranch. This is going to be fun. Sit back, get your favorite drink, enjoy the show. So this last trip to the ranch was on short notice and unexpected, but I was stoked. Joe, who's one of our patrons and part of our community, I've been working with him on some virtual video coaching and surfboard consultations, getting his boards dialed, and his favorite spot and where he surfs a lot is the ranch. So it's been really cool to see his progression, but he was going there with 4 of his best friends, and he said, hey, we have an open spot. We'd love for you to join us. Now, that's like 1 week notice. These 3 boards came in, and I thought, how can I not jump on this opportunity to spend time with Joe and some of our other patrons and get another crack at surfing the surf ranch? Now, the way they set up the heats, with there only being 6 of us, they did 2 3-man heats, and each heat is an hour long. And with 3 guys in the pool, you have a guy on one side at the takeoff, a guy in the middle, and a guy at the end. And on the takeoff, if you fall, the next guy in line would pick up that wave and ride it till he falls or ride it till the end. Now, in that 1 hour, the machine will fire off a wave every 4 minutes. So that's 15 waves in the hour, and that guarantees the 3 guys 5 waves each. Now, in the first hour, we were all falling a bit, but I got my hands on the 5 that were mine and 5 more from poaching and taking off where others fell. So me not being in shape for this was a thing after the first heat. So in the first hour, I got some really fun waves, and I felt my body felt somewhat fresh and alive, and like I could do the turns. But after that first hour, we ran into problems. Let's talk about what board we started with first. So I started with the 2 Happy. This is a custom 5.7 PU poly coming in at 26.5 liters. And I remember my first visit to the ranch, I had a Paisalien 2, a Sci-Fi 2.0, and a Driver 2.0. And they were all roughly that 5.6, 5.7 in length with a high performance outline. Now I remember starting the first visit with a large fin, and at 160 pounds, a large fin felt tight for me, like I had too much fin in the water. And when I switched to a medium fin, the board started to feel better. So that's why I started with the 2 Happy, and then I started with the Momentum Series Rake template fin, which has the large base and the medium fin depth. So the large base is going to maximize drive off the bottom turn and all my rail turns, and then the medium fin depth is going to keep the board loose and responsive with less drag. This felt great, especially on the left. Now, the way I want to surf the left and the right is I want to surf it top to bottom with no hesitation from turn to turn and sit right in the pocket. Easier said than done. This wave really challenges me, and I felt like the 5.7 2 Happy felt good going backside. The wave's a bit slopier, right? It's not as steep as the right. So I felt like I could use the 5.7 rail line to my advantage and drive off my bottom turns and top turns to try and stay in the pocket. And I felt like at times I had 1, 2 good turns, and then all of a sudden I would have to readjust, get back to where I wanted on the wave, and then start again. So I never really felt like on any of the boards that I took that I surfed the left or right exactly how I wanted to. But I will say that the 5.7 2 Happy with this fin setup had its moments, and it felt good. Now on the right, I feel like that wave gets a bit steeper, and sometimes when I come off the bottom and I do a top turn, when I'm coming down, it could get so hollow if I'm not doing that snap at the right spot in the wave. I feel like I get caught off guard, and then the rail will catch up in the nose area because I feel like I have to lean back. And that wave's so fast that there isn't really a lot of time to lean back, to stall and pull the nose up, and then go ahead and start again and get that speed going. So the 2 Happy for me going right felt a little bit long at 5.7. So I believe what I'm doing is I'm learning that front side at that pool, since it gets steeper, quicker in different sections, I want this board to be roughly 5.5 or 5.6 in length. And like I said, I don't feel like I ever surfed one right or one left from beginning to end perfectly, but the 2 Happy had its moments, and I feel like I'm starting to figure out what I like backside on that wave and what I like frontside. Now in Heat 2, I grabbed the Neckbeard III. Now this is a round tail, 5.5 PU poly, coming in at 25.6 liters. Now this has FCS2 plugs, and I got my hands on a large set of the new CI upright fin. And I know Kelly likes to ride his pivot fin at the pool, so I was looking forward to this combination. Remember, that round tail is supposed to give me a bit more hold, drive through turns, and then the upright fin is going to give me a quick pivot. So I thought this is a great combination for the pool. Before we get started on what this board felt like, I want to remind you guys that in Heat number 1 on the 2 Happy, I caught 10 of the 15 waves that were fired, and my legs were torched coming in from Heat number 1. So I took an hour break, got into Heat 2, Neckbeard 3, and this board felt great on the right. I remember catching a couple rights, getting a couple turns, and the length at 5.5, it just felt more maneuverable. I felt like I had more control, and I could do a snap, and if the wave got steep, I didn't have to be purposeful to shift my weight back. I felt like I could still navigate it well, then set the inside rail, pull into a barrel, come out of that, and do a turn. So the Neckbeard 3 proved to me that the right, I like a little shorter board, a little less rail line because that wave's so steep. The fins were feeling good on the right. Now, when I was surfing the Neckbeard 3 going left, I remember one wave, and it was the first left I caught, where I was trying to get my line set, and I did a bunch of subpar turns. And then I finally got one turn where I came off the top, I went to set the bottom turn, and I sit down so far on my back leg that it cramped on me. And the cramp could have been so bad that if I didn't straighten it real quick, I could have been done for the day. So at that point, I started surfing for barrels and going easy on my turns. So I can't tell you honestly how the Neckbeard 3 felt going backside. But I will say that I had a really good time surfing the pool. It has 2 different waves that they were offering us. A CT3, which is a bunch of turns from the takeoff, and then it has a beautiful barrel at the end, or a CT2, which is a bit steeper. It has a good barrel kind of in the beginning and through the middle. Then you get a turn or 2, and then it barrels really fast at the end. And I thought, this is a good time for me personally to work on barrel riding. I've never been much of a tube rider, so to surf Kelly's wave and focus on barrel riding was a real treat for me. Now in Heats 3 and 4, I rode the twin pin. This is 5.6 PU poly coming in at 26.4 liters, and the conditions were epic. We had great barrels frontside and backside, and this was my focus being so tired, but I really liked the twin fin speed in the barrel. Now, performance in the pocket, I couldn't really push it, but I did catch a couple waves where I could come off the bottom and do a nice top turn, and even though I was kind of cruising, the rail and the fins were engaged the whole time. This has a bit of a V bottom, and the board settles down when it gets going fast, and everything's engaged. Now, the twin fins I rode are the HP twins, which is my high performance twin fin set. It's got that wider base for more drive and a bit of rake, but it's drawing a more critical line in the pocket compared to a keel fin. Now, I'm looking forward to riding the twin pin in the ocean, to really put this board on rail and test it in the pocket. But for the most part, I had a blast tube ride hunting, and learning how to tube ride, this board had great speed. Well guys, I hope you enjoyed today's surfboard testing at the ranch. I had a blast. Joe, you and your friends, thank you so much for inviting me to your pool party. Kelly and the staff at the ranch, what an amazing experience. Look, if you like the show, subscribe, ring the bell so you don't miss an episode, and give us a thumbs up if you like our content. Until next time, we'll see you in the water. Bye-bye.